All right. I will definitely take that one. Right in the middle of the fairway there. All right, so we all want to have that nice angle of lag in the start of the downswing. You know, players like Sergio Garcia, Tiger Woods, Adam Scott, all these great players have that nice angle of lag, especially with the driver when they're coming down. And I struggled with this, and I have a lot of students that struggle with this as well. They tried everything to get lag in their swing, but no matter what they did, they could still never get lag. And I'm sure a lot of you have worked on your lag, have done this wide, narrow, wide drill where you go really wide in the backswing with the club head, and then you go narrow in the downswing, and then you go wide again in the downswing. Well, conceptually, that drill, it's great, but almost nobody does it right, including myself. When I first did this drill, I never did it right. See, what most people do is they'll initially go out wide in the backswing, but as they get up to the top of the swing, they'll get narrow, right? So they'll go wide, then they'll go narrow, and then they'll go wide again, because as soon as you fully hinge your wrist, that's the moment they're going to want to unhinge, right? So if you go up to the top and you fully hinge your wrist, you're going to want to completely unhinge and cast the club in the start of the downswing. That's exactly what we don't want. You know, that's the opposite of lag. So if we want to get lag, we actually need to get those wrists reaching their full hinge as late as possible in the swing. So that's why I've actually made an altercation to this drill, this wide, narrow, wide drill, which I believe makes it the best lag drill of all time, because I give it to students who've worked on getting lag their whole life, their whole golfing life, and have never been able to get lag. They do this drill, they get lag for the first time. So I'm excited for you to be able to try this out if you're struggling with lag yourself, or if you just want more lag in your swing, I believe it will help you as well. So the difference that I made with this drill is that I actually added a wide to it. So if we have the thought that we go wide and then wide in the start of the downswing as well, so we're going wide in the backswing, so zero wrist set, and actually in the start of the downswing, I know this seems counterintuitive, but in the start of the downswing I'd feel wide as well, and then we get narrow as late as we can, and then we get wide again. So if you have this feeling, you know, that's not the reality of what you're going to do when you speed this up, but that's the feeling that you want initially when you're doing this drill, and that's going to allow you to get that sharp angle of lag as late as possible in the swing, which is what we want for speed and distance and everything else. So what I want you to do is I want you to stand up if you've got a club handy and just do some reps where we go wide at the top, pause at the top, and then I want you to go wide in the start of the downswing to lead arm parallel, and then I want you to go narrow as late as you can, hands past the golf ball. I try to have that club parallel to the ground there, so lots and lots of lag there, and then go narrow or go wide in the follow through there. So let's get about 10 of those in where we go wide, wide, narrow, wide. That's what we want to feel is going on. Now, I know it's going to feel awkward and weird because you feel like you're casting in the start of the downswing, and technically you kind of are, but that's what we need to feel to be able to get that sharp angle late. Otherwise, you're going to be hinging that wrist too early, right? And then we're going to want to unhinge it right away. So once you get 10, 20 of those, until you get comfortable with it. I mean, you may not get totally comfortable with it, but if you get a few of those and you start understanding how your wrists are going to move when you do this, now we can start adding some fluidity to it. So now what we want to do, and I'd set up the camera for this, set up a camera from face on and see if you're actually doing what you feel like you're doing. So we're going to go nice and slow here, and we're going to go wide, wide, narrow, and wide as we're coming through here. So I'm going to try to go as slow as I can, but this is, if you have this concept, it's really going to help you to get this angle of lag late. So we're going to go wide, wide, narrow, wide. So if you see there, I got a ton of lag when I did that. Now, it probably didn't look like I did this in the start of the downswing, but that's what it felt like to me. When you speed this up, it's going to feel like you're doing that, but when you look on camera, I think you're going to be surprised to see that you're getting that angle of lag to really sharpen as you're coming down. So again, I'm going to go wide. I'm going to do a practice swing here, nice and slow, and I'm going to go wide, wide, narrow, wide. So it's going to look like this. So you probably saw I had a ton of lag there, a ton of lag, really, really sharp angle late, and that's what we want to have. So once you start feeling comfortable with the slower ones, I want you to speed it up. So let me see if I can do a more speeded up one here. So I'm going to go wide, wide, narrow, wide again, a little bit faster. Yeah, so that felt, you really feel that whoosh through contact. through the impact zone, that wasn't a lot of effort. I didn't really feel like I was exerting myself very much there. I felt like it was about the same effort as I would take, if I was trying to, hit a nice easy drive down the middle. But you could feel that whoosh of speed that you may not have had before. So get some of those full speed ones in there, get up to full speed with it, look on camera, see if you're getting that nice sharp angle getting late. And then once you see that on video with your practice swing, now let's try to add the golf ball and let's try to get that same feeling. So let's see if I can get a few more miles per hour than I did on that first one. All right, so let's see if I can get one out there a little bit more here. All right. Got a couple more miles per hour there. I'll definitely take that one. So now that we have that nice amount of lag in the start of the downswing, we have a lot of potential to get a lot of speed and distance. But we still have a problem. We still need to learn how to release that lag to get the most out of it. In fact, I had a student, one of the students that I talked about, never really had lag before, had an angle between the lead forearm and the shaft of about 94 degrees, and then got to where that angle got to 47 degrees, and he learned how to release that lag properly, and he got 50 yards of distance. Now, that's not typical results, but that's the potential that could happen if you get this lag and this release right. And this is what Clay talks about in the Top Speed Golf System in the straight line release course. In the straight line release course, we talk about how we take this lag, we take this butt into the club that's pointing behind the golf ball, and we get to turn back up into the chest as quickly as possible. So I have an awesome video for you where Clay, the founder of Top Speed Golf, is going to go through how to use that straight line release to get the most out of this newfound lag that you have. So I'm going to go ahead and play a preview for that video here in just a second. But if you want to see the whole video, all you have to do is click the iCard that's going to pop up in the corner of your screen, or you can click the link in the description below. Play well, and I'll talk to you soon.
A common misconception I see is that we want to create lag and we just want to hold that lag all the way on through contact and get as much lag as we can coming through contact, and that's simply not true. In the release section, we're going to talk about how to turn that lag into energy, how to turn that into speed so that you can hit it very far and do it, like we mentioned, without hardly any effort at all. And as we're coming through contact, we're going to fully release this angle as we're about 45 past contact. So if I draw, a 45-degree angle, I should be looking at both arms, nice and straight, the club splitting those arms, so that by releasing the club, by getting this angle to release as we're coming through contact, that's what's going to create the speed. Our hands are moving a very short distance, our club is moving a very long distance through contact, and it creates that whip-like effect.
Very different swings hitting the exact same position. So first let's take a look at Dustin Johnson releasing the club 45 past. And the reason we're going to see such different swings producing similar positions is that this is the real physics of how this has to happen. Here we're looking at Sergio Garcia. Again, we're going to see tons of